The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said you're up and I'm up. Y'all now tuned in to the Grind Hard Dream Big Show. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I got a special guest in the building. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Cornell Wade. Today I'm gonna be just a regular man. We'll talk about what I do, but a regular person. Cornell Wade. That's it.
That's all right. That's all right. So how you feeling today, man?
I feel blessed. New year, coming into 2023. Just being blessed to wake up today. To be honest with you, man. It's another day to be able to go and get it.
Yeah.
Just period, point blank. It's another day for us to go make an opportunity and make something happen. So.
For sure. Absolutely. So for the people that don't know Cornell, right, like the upbringing, like where were you born, where were you raised, kind of like, the childhood.
Okay. Childhood. Where would I start that? It's been 31 years. Honestly, just a kid from Bladensburg, Maryland, Colmar Manor to be exact, who got an opportunity to do things as far as exposure, who was blessed to be surrounded by good mentors, good people, a good upbringing, have good parents. I went to Bridgewater College in Bridgewater, Virginia, and really had a life-changing moment with my college experience, going to a PWI from Prince George's County and seeing the differences, if you will, in life between how we live, how we think, how we do things, and how other people think, move, do things. But I enjoyed it. Pledge Kappa Alpha Psi. Shout out to the greatest fraternity in the world. Came here back to Prince George's County, started coaching football and teaching in the public school system in DC, actually. Did that, then went to Prince George's County, a couple of private schools, before ultimately starting the Royalty Institute. So I guess that's my full.
That's what's up, man. That's a lot, though. I'm going to clap that up because that's a lot, man. You said PWI, being from this area, I can only imagine how rigorous that definitely was for you. So what were some of the hobbies that you found yourself doing, like, as a child? Because I know sometimes it can be sports, it can be music, it can be different things. So what was it that really was like, okay, you know what? I like this. This was a hobby of mine.
I got you. It was sports for me.
Okay.
I played sports year round. We played AAU basketball, football, and that was really it. It was really dedicated towards that goal or that mindset of getting a college scholarship.
For sure. And shout outs to that, man, because I'm saying, of course, you got to be a student athlete as well, so making sure that you was great in the classroom, and of course, on the field or off the field, or on the court or off the court. So definitely salute to you for that pivot and that transition. So now you evolve, right? Now you've gotten to the point where, okay, college, you got that experience. What made you want to pivot to the Royalty Institute? What made you want to create this idea and vision?
It's really not a one thing, to be honest with you, brother. Life would be the best way to put that. Everything from early experiences in high school as a student to going to school at a PWI and feeling a sense of responsibility, if you will, for how black people look, how black people conducted themselves, and also feeling a sense of really guilt. Being in college, I wasn't the fastest guy from Bladensburg, I wasn't the strongest guy from Bladensburg, but it's a certain sense of this is an opportunity that a lot of people would benefit from and don't get the opportunity. The loss of people and players. I think we're at 3 now. Shaquan Chambers, Devontae Berkeley, Jason Faison, and ultimately wanting to provide an environment that I felt spoke to what black boys wanted, what black boys needed in order to be successful in this world. Leadership development, innovative skills training, an environment of love, an environment where they see people who look like them, who are invested in their ultimate success. I know that was a lot, but really it's
for sure. Definitely, and that's a lot of passion. I hear the passion in your voice because I think that's what is missing, right? We talk about representation. We talk about, oh man, because I could piggyback and think about my academic career and how things were from making that transition from private school to public school, and then going to college. Shout outs to Bowie State University. That's where I got my degree from. Shout outs to Dr. Thomas. That man is a gem, man. Huge OG. Definitely made sure that I was straight. But I say that to say that when we talk about representation and what we can provide as far as a resource, I didn't take advantage of the mentoring when I was younger, right? I didn't take advantage of or knowing what leadership was, because it's still a brand new idea to us now. It's like, what are these things? But I think now the simplicity of things, we realize how essential it is to kind of shape the human being, either him or her, in this realm. So I think that it's definitely important. So what is the lack thereof that we see in the area which kind of keeps you motivated even more to do the work that you do?
I apologize for the pauses, y'all. I know
Nah, it's cool. It's
really
cool.
Dramatic, but
Nah,
I
it's
don't
cool.
like to speak without it.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
So let me tell you what I'm thinking about, right? There's a bunch of negative, right, in our community. And really it's the positive that I try to focus on.
Absolutely.
And the potential of just young black boys in general, just young black children in general. I'm inspired by that. It's some of the best things in the world to see. Just 2 days ago, Justin Bradley and Malik Miller, two former guys who are now bigger than I am, first off, which is crazy to me because when I first saw them, they were really not that big. But one is getting his master's degree at Will and Jesuit. The other is a student at Virginia Union.
Shout out to both of them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's really that motivates me, being able to say, all right, this kid could really be anything he wanted to be if he was given the right opportunity. And
Right.
that's my job.
Right. To provide the opportunity, because
Yes,
like I said, sometimes we didn't have that. In 2023 now, with everything evolving and expanding, you got, of course, education is definitely important. I feel like every single day we're learning something new. So to, embrace that, and then we may, I can definitely be transparent and say like, okay, for, the environments and the neighborhoods that they live in, some of these kids may feel like, okay, I'm a product of my environment. I live in the hood, so I am hood, or this is all I see. How is that conversation or that interaction for you when you kind of sort of see that, like being able to meet them where they are? Because I think that's a tall task.
So I'll definitely say it's been a transition for me. Early in my career, it was really simple. Excuses are tools of the incompetent, built on monuments of nothingness. Those who use them seldom succeed in anything else. And I would literally just repeat that to a student. And that was a very young approach and a very cold approach, to be honest, to a lot of different life things. What I would say, or what I would try to do now, is build a relationship and spark whatever that interest is, right? Initially, that was easy. If you came and played football, I'm a football coach, that's what motivates you. But now when you see the full range of opportunities and interests of students in our communities, it's motivating, and it's something that you want to assist with, that you got to assist with.
Right. And that's what I think, added value is, too, as well, because I know that we've partnered on the Cyber Warrior, you know, and I think that that was something that was great, because when we talk about STEM and technology in our community, I mean, you know, it's a lot of people that play games, you know what I'm saying? You know, play the video games, you know, whatever it is on the laptop and things of that nature. You know, so shout outs to Justin Drummond for, you know, creating, you know, a game and a platform and something that kids can invest in, you know, of that nature and that magnitude. So I know that we definitely used one of your facilities to do the event, and I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed myself a lot. I definitely saw something new. So can you speak to, you know, people about, you know, just the exposure piece and why you felt that that was definitely something that was a game changer or something that was needed at that particular time?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, I'm just taking notes.
It's all good.
So the first thing I'll say is this: shout out to Justin. That program is phenomenal. Cyber Warriors is something that teaches the field of cybersecurity at a very young age and exposes students to a realm of possibilities that you and I probably had no idea about when we were in high school.
Absolutely.
And I think that's important. And that's really the overall message that I would say in regards to exposure. Our children can do whatever they want to do, whatever they put their mind to,
Right.
if given the opportunity to see those things, to do those things. So for us, whether it's barbering, financial literacy, culinary, whatever we can incorporate in order to grasp a student interest, we're going to do. We've done so many programs, it's really hard to think about one, because you really want to meet a student where they are and get them where they want to be. What is it? Not computer engineering. God, I am drawing a blank. IT.
Yeah,
that's what
IT.
it's called.
Information technology systems. I got you, brother. I got you. We did.
Information technology.
Yeah.
Public Works with the town of Colmar Manor. Interacting with the police for young men who wanted to go into the law enforcement, and bridging that gap. It's just so many things.
Yeah, so many. It's like the opportunities are endless, man. And you know, I know you mentioned Bladensburg, and I can't forget Bladensburg without saying, you know, shout outs to No Opportunities Wasted.
Yes, sir.
Phenomenal brother and girl, man. Definitely doing his thing. You know, definitely for, you know, providing you know, resources as well. And man, shout outs to Coach O as well, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember that I also had the opportunity. I remember that you had a clinic at Salvation Army, and I had the pleasure and luxury of, you know, speaking to those kids as well, man. And it was just a beautiful thing, man. So shout outs to everybody that was there, Stefan as well, man.
Yes, sir.
It's just, and the thing that's so beautiful about this is I'm naming men, y'all. Like, I'm naming men, and I think that's the thing right now. And I would challenge it. I know it's more men out there that are willing to do this work. So, you know, that's the challenge, and it's a beautiful thing to see men come together, to see a common interest, whether it be basketball, football, IT, or hey, you know, you just want to put a business plan or whatever it is together, just to collaborate, and you'll never know unless you have that conversation. So it was just the love and the opportunity. I definitely appreciated it a lot, and definitely we were able to build. And hey, look at what we're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Still building and growing and evolving and expanding. So within our communities, what do you feel is the forefront now moving forward, now that you have this in place, now that workshops are happening, people are being connected, people are expanding? What do you think is that next step, not only for, you know, of course, you know, minority communities, but I guess youth in general within the area to go to the next level in their lives? I know it's very tough, but this is like, you know, but yeah, what do you think, what would it require as far as like more mentoring? What do you think could be essential to or vital in youth development?
Yes, sir. So you really hit it on the head, and I was actually about to write that down. So really, out of the question you asked me, I got two things: what's important for our community,
yes,
and what's important for the youth in our community.
Absolutely.
I'll speak on youth first. It's really the development, right? Being able to understand what our young people are interested in. We have to grasp their imagination. If we don't, they are literally dying on the streets on a daily basis. And it's really that serious, not to make it a whole big thing, but
No,
it
absolutely.
really is that serious.
Absolutely.
So really grasping their imagination and then preparing them in whatever they want to do. One thing I love, that young man is 16 years old and is working with you. Like that's important.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like that opens his horizons, that opens the opportunities that he has to do things moving forward.
Absolutely.
So creating those lanes of preparation. For our community as a whole is collaboration. So much we talk about what individual people are doing, which is great, right? And one of the things I think is phenomenal about Bladensburg is that, I'm gonna just say it, we work together. Like, we were brought up in one community from a young age, going towards a common goal, and that common thread that was embedded by Coach O, by Stefan, who was a guy who coached me and now runs our youth program. We stick together, but I don't think that that's something that we see holistically across our community. And if we did, I think the possibilities would be endless.
Absolutely. No, and I appreciate that and I applaud that because, like I said, you know, it definitely takes that. I do think when it comes to it, I'm a firm believer in community over competition. I mean, like, okay, you see you got Bladensburg, there's so many cities, you know what I'm saying, in Prince George's County and just in the world in general. So I just feel like, okay, if more people will want to come together in the collaboration, then you can provide more resources and exercise that mode and reach more people, because it's really about reaching people and serving others. And, you know, at this particular point, we all have gifts, we all have purpose, and we all have passion. And the plan is to make it in the communities, you know, and these are issues that go on everywhere. It's not just, okay, well, it's just happening in this particular city. So it's really looking a youth in their eye and really having a conversation and meeting them where they are and understanding that majority of the time, you know, kids they're not crazy, they're misunderstood. They don't know. They may have to grow up faster than we expected. You know what I'm saying? And embrace so many things that, you know, I don't want a child to be robbed of his or her childhood because they had to, you know, grow up faster than expected. And there's a lot of responsibilities and things that are placed on them. So I definitely think, in addition to, you know, workshops that you added earlier, I definitely think the social and emotional learning aspect of things, how to process that information, how to listen to understand as opposed to reply, how to pull back and understand that your pride, your ego, sometimes when you feed those things so much that you become arrogant to listening to what another person is just saying just because of, you know, what he or she has said or what he or she has done. So it's a lot of things that, you know, we're in that spot now where it's like, okay, we learned this, now we unlearning this, and now we learning more. But I think that because we're able to feel free and able to, you know, give the, you know, the resources and just share information, right? I think that that's definitely important and definitely significant, because I'd rather be selfless as opposed to be selfish with everything.
Yeah, 100%, man. That social emotional learning piece is so key. And again, preparation that didn't exist 20 years ago, that you have to be intentional about developing now. For us, it's Maps to Manifest. So we run a mentoring program, one-to-one student or player to mentor. And what it allows us to do is build those personal relationships. That is so key, because you learn how to live this life through experience, right? You can hear or read in a book and get knowledge, but at the end of the day, it's the actual experience. So being able to learn from someone else's experience and have that personal relationship tied in is really the development of that social emotional ultimately, which takes you from that egotistical individual, that me person, to someone who can say, this has to be something greater than me at the end of the day.
Absolutely, because I think that's what it is. The bigger picture, is God's picture. I feel like that's the biggest picture, and I think that sometimes we get lost in it and we draw away from, and our intentions may not be in the right place because we may think, okay, well, this is how I wanted it to look, this is how I wanted it to be, but sometimes that Picasso picture that God has for you and you don't even know that it look like, you be like, ooh, that's a beautiful picture. I didn't even know. So I just think to embrace it and just to understand that every step that you take on the journey is essential.
Yes,
and so can you speak to the younger you? Like, what is something that you felt like your younger self should have, took heed to? Yeah.
Social emotional learning and emotional intelligence. I did not have any, and that's because of the environment that you spoke of. You spoke earlier about young people being a product of their environment. You definitely are, but you also are the master of your fate. So if I struggle with something, it's my job to learn, be a student, and develop that to get better. And that's what I would say to my younger self.
For sure, absolutely, and I think that's the thing. I mean, for me, speed racer. I could just say that. Speed racer, right? It's like you want to do everything so fast, and it's like you gotta be patient.
Amen.
And then realize, like, okay, slow down, take your time, because if you don't take your time, you're gonna burn yourself out. And it's like I'm always the what's next. I do, but I never got the time, or I'm not gonna say I never got the time. I never took the time to really reflect and realize how impactful the moment was, or something that I wanted to accomplish was, because I was always on go mode. So I'm just like, now as I'm progressing, I'm being more mindful of actually taking that me time out, or that time out in general. Because you can take a time out without playing sports. Just saying. But you can take a time out without playing sports. But it's just to say that you definitely need just time for yourself, because I realized that you have to be your own superhero first before you could be someone else's. And it's not being selfish, it's just making sure that you have everything in your tank, your spiritual tank, your emotional tank, your physical tank, your mental tank, because that tank is definitely important. If you don't, if you don't have it, then it gets ugly. Then you find yourself showing up in places where it's like, okay, well, I'm physically here, but I'm mentally not here, or I'm mentally in this place, but man, I'm weak, I'm tired, I can't even. You need me to be out here for 4 hours, I can only give you 30 minutes. Like, and it gets real like that, because we just have to make sure that we are, delegating our time and being more intentional. So I would say for 2023 and moving forward, what is it that you would want to, of course, see with Royalty, and then to the impact in the area of Prince George's County?
Yeah, got it. For the Royalty Institute of Leadership and Innovation, it is to put a school in as many urban cities and communities across the United States that we possibly can. Right now, Temple Hills and Washington, D.C. are our two primary focuses, but we've spoken to individuals from Richmond to St. Louis, ultimately to figure out a way to better educate Black children. And that's not really 2023, that's probably going to be life.
Right. Sure. Absolutely.
I would also say to definitely continue to grow things outside of that, the Metcalf League, relationships with individuals. I kind of pride myself on trying to do as many things as possible.
Right.
Which goes against what you just said, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Because you do get burnt out.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's that experience that you had that taught you that.
Right, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But really trying to do everything we can. As far as Prince George's County, I really like what I see happening in Prince George's County. And again, I try to focus on positives.
Right.
The amount of collaboration between different groups, Mentor DC, you and your podcast. What is Dare to Be Different? Stella's Girls, Jacob's Ladder, Salvation Army, the Town of Colmar Manor. There are so many people that are working collaboratively to make things happen. I'm just excited to see it continue.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's a lot of organizations. I truly commend any nonprofit organization that is trying to, help community, help our youth, really be those vessels, those things that we needed when we were younger. I know that that's the inspiration behind mine, because I knew that when I was younger that I needed these resources and things of that nature. Yes, I love journalism, I love reading, I love writing, and that was something that I found early through the grace of God.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that there's so much more that I could possibly be. So when it comes to that, it's really being who God called me to be. And when I look at it, it's the intention of serving and learning, because I'm nothing without God, I'm nothing without my family, I'm nothing without that support system. So it's so many organizations that, do this work, and they do intentional work, and it's grassroots work. It's not the easiest work. It's not the work that you're going to get a plaque for tomorrow type of work, but it's okay to know that it's purpose driven, and to the point where it doesn't feel like work, because hey, look, this is what God naturally called me to do.
Yes,
You know what I mean? So
yes,
I think that that's also important as well. So I definitely like that. I think that it's going to be more collaboration moving forward. I feel like as many people as God wants me to impact, I'm going to do, regardless of where the area is, where the city may be, what the people may look like, because, at the end of the day, God don't judge us, so why should we judge others?
Amen.
I think that that's the biggest thing. And just being, making sure that your spiritual tank is good, your emotional tank is good, that mental tank is good, and that physical one is good. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely see that. And I salute you and I commend you from brother to brother, because we could be talking about the game.
Yeah.
we can talk about the game. We could be talking about a lot of other things, but I think that these conversations are healthy and necessary for not only community but us as personal and individual growth.
Yes, sir. Yes,
as
sir.
well, man. So throughout your busy schedules, man, like what does the self-care look like for Cornell? Like what does that self-care look like for you though, man?
Honestly, it's reading. I will sit on my porch and read for hours.
Okay.
Now you gotta wake up early to do it sometimes, but I'm very intentional about when I start my day, before I answer a phone call, before I answer an email. I thank God for waking me up in the morning. I go get a cup of coffee, I go read a book. That's really what self-care looks like. Relationships, I love being around my family and friends, but for me, it's really that time to be with my thoughts, evaluate what I've done, think about next steps, and then continue.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can tell you probably got a journal too. You love writing. I love it too. Hey, look, join the journal club. It's dope.
Listen, I didn't even say that because that's something secret. You don't tell everybody. I do have a journal. Yes,
It's all good though.
Journals.
Journals. Oh, that's dope. See, I'm trying to get like you. I only got like one, and then after that, after the 200 pages, I go find another one.
Yeah,
It's okay.
yeah.
I can't, because I feel like if I'm in one book, I'm in one book. I don't try to get into multiple, because I don't try to confuse myself. But,
Hey, I get it.
Yeah, but definitely being the visionary, man, I definitely see that. Let me see. What is one childhood show that you can watch right now and not get tired of?
The Wonder Years.
Okay.
I love it. I love The Wonder Years. Nick at Night, Tom Arnold, The Wonder Years.
Okay. What is one movie that you could watch and not get tired of?
The Great Gatsby.
Okay. I would say, what is, like, I guess, that person that kind of like you looked up to when you were younger, if you had a role model, or someone that you were like greatly inspired by to do the work that you do today? Or it could be more than one, obviously.
Okay. Wow. So that would be a bunch of people, bro. And I'm actually trying to list them all, if that's cool.
That's fine.
Stephon, who I talked about earlier, one of my early basketball coaches, who really saw at a young age where I was and met me where I was. Coach O at Bladensburg High School, we talk about him. Very integral part to my development. Coach Kim Roberts, Coach Harris, who is at Archbishop Carroll now, but he was at Bladensburg when I was in high school. Who else? Coach Bruce, Coach Butler, rest his soul. Mr. McKeever, going all the way back to elementary school. I was blessed to have positive black men in my life from the time I was born all the way through now with Mr. Lathan, different individuals. You gotta keep mentors.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. That's definitely a gem. I think that, for myself, if I really piggyback off of it, people that have been vital in the success, like I said, I'm nothing without God and my family, my support system. I'm saying my mother, my father, stepmother, uncles, aunts, nieces, nephews, brothers, sisters, and cousins. I definitely would say Dr. Thomas from Bowie State University kind of really molded me into the man that I am. I would definitely say I was inspired by Nipsey Hussle as well. Rest in peace. And to have solid mentors such as Kimberly Marshall from Dare to Be Different. She's definitely been phenomenal in this process. My brother JD as well. He has Jet Major. We find inspiration and motivation from each other all the time. And my other brother who has also kind of mentored me and molded me in this winner circle as well, Mr. Jeffrey Young, aka Backpack Jeff. So it's definitely been instrumental people, but I feel like everybody plays a part. So it's like, your journey's your journey. You know what I'm saying? Take pride in your steps and things of that nature. So don't be afraid. So what is that motivation that you would give an individual that, may be lost, may be confused, not know what to do, not know what to say? What would you tell that person?
Keep going. It's real simple for me. I tell people all the time, I got a concept. I don't have a concept. I heard a concept. Good walking is just putting one step in front of the other every day. It don't matter what it is. Get a focus and put one step in front of the other every day.
For sure. I think it's just staying locked in. I think we're at a place now where, we can look at social media, get derailed, get upset because we look at, highlights, right? Instagram, instant gratification. That's how you break it down, right? I just think that sometimes you have to delay your step. Yeah, you have to delay your steps sometimes. And I think that also is just really being intentional about what you want to do. For that person that may feel lost or may feel confused, I just think you should start. I know in my process of what I've been able to do through the grace of God, it's being able to do motivational videos, and then that built the confidence, and then just realizing, how can I wow myself? Or God showed me something, and then that's when the podcast started, November 6, 2020, and I didn't want to quit. I didn't want to look back. I realized that it wasn't only for myself, it was for other people, and when you serve others, that's the closer you're going to get to God. And I truly am saying that because that's what's really truly happening right now. And I would just say stay prayed up, stay prayed up, stay focused. Don't be afraid to learn from people. Always remain, a student. Every expert was once a beginner. And don't be afraid to really wow yourself. And if somebody call you crazy, you're not crazy. You're not crazy, you just misunderstood, and it's okay, because I've been misunderstood and I'm still misunderstood to this day, for sure. So how can people follow you? How can people support you? Definitely invest in what you got going on, because like I said, I love it. I feel like it's something different, something that is necessary and needed, man. You just plant the seeds in the garden, so how can people invest in your harvest? How can people really come about and support you? The floor is yours, man.
Okay, I appreciate it. Do I talk here or
either or, man?
Okay, because I saw you looking at that.
Yeah, we vibing.
I gotta start looking at this. our contact information, www.royaltyinstitute.org, if you would like to find ways to support the school. A lot of people talk about the financial aspect of it. We do have to fundraise, we do have to raise dollars, because at the end of the day, this program does cost. More importantly, I would ask you to invest your time. If this program didn't exist, are you still investing in the young people in our community with your time? Are you mentoring someone? Are you volunteering at games? Are you being just someone in the community who a student can rely on? So that's how I would say you could support the school, the basketball league, www.themetcalfleague.com. There are ways for businesses, local businesses, to support young people. If you are looking for an outlet, please take part. There is a mentorship component as well. So I think I gave all of them. Instagram, royalty_institute.
For sure, man. And like I said, support this brother. From brother to brother, I extend the love. I want you to win. Anything I can do to add value, definitely. I know that we locked in. We definitely gonna be working. So y'all make sure that y'all stay tuned. Through the grace of God, we're gonna do everything that He calls us to do, and best believe we just gonna continue to connect the dots and be who we needed when we was younger. But most importantly, being who God called us to be, man. So with that being said, y'all, the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. 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 And we out.
I appreciate it.